Can't stop replaying today, the things you didn't get done, the conversation you wish had gone differently, the feeling that somehow you should have managed more. Tonight, I want to offer you a simple thought. Let today be enough. Hello, I'm Tara, and you're very welcome to Words to Hold You. This is a quiet place for emotional reassurance when your mind won't rest at night. One human heart speaking gently to another. Let today be enough. Not perfect, not finished, not everything you hoped it would be when it started this morning. Just enough, exactly as it was, exactly as you were inside it. So let yourself settle. Let your shoulders soften. There's nothing left to prove tonight. Just stay here with me for a while. There's a particular kind of restlessness that shows up right at the end of a day, the moment your body finally stops moving and your mind decides that's exactly when it should start. It replays the day. It totals it up. It looks at everything that didn't get done, everything that could have gone better, everything you should have said differently. Most days end this way for most people, quietly failing some invisible test nobody actually wrote down. You measure the day against a version of it that never existed, a version where you were more productive, more patient, more together. And then you feel behind for not living up to a life that was never real in the first place. It's an exhausting way to end an already tiring day, holding yourself to a standard no one anywhere has ever actually met. Tonight, I want to gently interrupt that pattern. What if today already did enough, simply by being lived? You woke up, you moved through hours that asked things of you, some easy, some harder than you expected. You made decisions, large and small, with the information and energy you actually had, not the information and energy you wish you'd had. And you made it here, to the end of it, still breathing, still capable of resting. That's not nothing. That is, in fact, the whole of what any day has ever really required of anyone. We tend to believe that a good day has to look a certain way, full of visible accomplishment, ticked boxes, forward motion anyone else could see and measure. But most days aren't like that, not even the good ones. Most days are made of smaller, quieter things. A conversation handled with a little patience. A meal made when you didn't feel like making one. A hard feeling simply gotten through without falling apart entirely, even if it didn't feel graceful at the time. None of that shows up on a list. None of that photographs well. But it is real, and it counts, whether anyone else ever notices it or not. It helps to ask, honestly, what you're actually comparing today against. Often it isn't a real standard at all. It's an imagined one borrowed from somewhere, maybe other people's highlight reels, an old idea of who you thought you'd be by now, a version of productivity that has more to do with anxiety than with what a day actually needs to hold. Today didn't need to be extraordinary. It only needed to be lived, honestly, with whatever you had available to you. And it was. That part is already finished, whether you decide to accept it or not. It's worth asking, gently, where this pressure to have done more actually comes from. Rarely does it come from the people who love you. Most of the time, it's a voice you picked up somewhere along the way, from a culture that measures worth in output, from comparing your ordinary Tuesday to someone else's carefully edited version of theirs, from an old belief that rest has to be earned through sufficient proof of effort before it's allowed. That voice is loud, but it isn't especially wise. It doesn't know what your day actually asked of you. Conversations that drained you before you'd even reached lunch. The small worries you carried quietly while still managing to show up for everything in front of you. It only knows the list. And the list was never the whole story of any day, yours or anyone else's. Let's think about acceptance for a moment, because it's often misunderstood. Accepting today doesn't mean pretending it was easy if it wasn't. It doesn't mean deciding you have no complaints, no regrets, nothing you'd do differently if you could. Acceptance is smaller than that and gentler. It simply means allowing today to be what it actually was, instead of continuing to argue with it now that it's over. arguing with the day that has already happened doesn't change the day. It only steals rest from the night that's supposed to follow it. The meeting already happened, however it went. The conversation already happened, however it landed. The mistake, if there was one, already happened. And no amount of replaying it tonight will make it happen differently. What you can actually do right now is let it be finished. Let today close the way a door closes gently, without needing to be slammed or defended or picked apart one more time before you're allowed to sleep. This isn't the same as giving up on doing better tomorrow. If there's something you genuinely want to change, acceptance and improvement aren't opposites. You can accept today exactly as it was and still choose tomorrow to try a different approach, to be a little more patient, to tackle the thing you avoided. But that choosing belongs to tomorrow. Tonight only belongs to rest and to letting today finish being today without dragging it forward into a night that was never meant to carry it. Tomorrow is allowed to be its own day, separate from this one, unburdened by today's particular shortcomings. You don't have to carry today's unfinished business into tomorrow's first waking moment like a debt still owed. You can set it down here at the door of sleep and pick it back up only if and when tomorrow actually requires it. You might be someone who ends most days with a quiet list of everything that fell short. If that's you tonight, I'd like to offer a small experiment. Instead of asking what you didn't get to today, try asking what you actually managed, given everything that was real about today. The tiredness you started with, the things that went wrong that you didn't choose, the energy you genuinely had access to rather than the energy you wished you'd had. Measured that way, against reality instead of fantasy, most days hold more than we give them credit for. There's something quietly brave about letting a day be enough without needing tomorrow to prove it further. It means trusting that your worth today wasn't actually up for negotiation, that it never depended on how much got crossed off a list, that you were allowed to rest simply because the day has ended. not because you've earned rest through some tally of achievement. You are allowed to rest tonight, even if today wasn't your best day. You are allowed to rest tonight, even if you snapped at someone you love, even if you avoided something you know you'll have to face eventually, even if the whole day felt like treading water rather than moving forward. Rest was never meant to be a reward held just out of reach until you've proven yourself worthy of it. Rest is simply what a body and a mind need at the end of any day, good or difficult, finished or unfinished. Let today be enough, not because it was flawless, but because it's over, and because you are still here, capable of beginning again tomorrow, with whatever tomorrow actually asks of you, rather than what today failed to complete. If your mind keeps returning tonight to something specific, a moment you wish had gone differently, a task still sitting unfinished, try letting it rest beside you rather than inside you. It will still be there in the morning if it truly needs your attention. Nothing important gets lost simply because you allowed yourself one night of peace before returning to it. You don't owe today a longer accounting than this. You lived it. You made it through. That is the whole of what was actually ever required. There will be other days to reach further, try harder, do more. Tonight isn't one of them, and it was never supposed to be. Tonight is simply for closing the door gently on a day that already happened the only way it could, given everything that was true about it while you were living it. Before you sleep, let these words hold you quietly in the dark. Today was enough, simply because I lived it as honestly as I could. I don't have to finish everything tonight. I'm allowed to rest now and continue tomorrow. I release today gently and trust myself to meet tomorrow when it comes. today was enough, simply because I lived it as honestly as I could. I don't have to finish everything tonight. I'm allowed to rest now and continue tomorrow. I release today gently and trust myself to meet tomorrow when it comes. Today was enough, simply because I lived it as honestly as I could. I don't have to finish everything tonight. I'm allowed to rest now and continue tomorrow. I release today gently, and I trust myself to meet tomorrow when it comes. Let your breathing slow. Let your hands soften. Let today close quietly behind you, the way a door closes at the end of a long, ordinary, entirely sufficient day. Whatever tomorrow needs from you, it can wait until tomorrow to ask. Today has already done everything it needed to do. Now it's time to rest. Good night. If sleep still hasn't found you, I've left another video here to help you to drift off. Can't stop replaying today. Can't stop replaying today. Can't stop replaying today. The things you didn't get done, the conversation you wish had gone differently, the feeling that somehow you should have managed more. Tonight, I want to offer you a simple thought. Let today be enough. Hello, I'm Tara, and you're very welcome to Words to Hold You. This is a quiet place for emotional reassurance when your mind won't rest at night. One human heart speaking gently to another. Tonight, I'd like to offer you that simple idea, one that's easy to say and much harder to actually believe some nights. Let today be enough.